Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Today I want to show you some really cool tips and tricks on using the match and move option in Canva. The match and move option is a transition when you're using video in Canva, but I've got some really cool tips and tricks on how you can use that to create a great video, a little bit like this one. Let's dive into Canva and show you exactly how I've created that video. Now, what we're doing is we're starting off with a video template. You have to use a video template. If you're not sure what video templates you can choose, you come over to the home page, choose videos here, and you've got all the different video options here. Now, someone asked me in the comments this week on how to use the same video options, but for Instagram posts. And the answer is, use Facebook video, because Facebook video is 1080 by 1080, and that's how you can still use the same video options. Because I don't know if you know this, but if you're using a normal kind of like page design, you don't get the video options at the bottom. You have to start off with the video. But let's get started and let me show you how I've broken down this video. Now, in order to start with match and move, what you have to do is you have to have more than one kind of frame, if you like, or block. I guess they're kind of like pages but within videos. We've got a few pages here. We've got in fact 10 pages for this particular video. And all I started on the first video, you see all I've got is just a simple square, okay, and then we've got a text block on there, and that's exactly all I need for the first option, is just a simple text block. Now I'm going to zoom in. I don't know if you know you can zoom in on the timeline here. If you click on this option here, and you can zoom in on the timeline, and that's going to allow you to zoom in. You can go up to 500% on the timeline, but let's leave it at 500% because that makes it easier to see. And below this I do have an audio track as well, so that's just one that I brought in from Epidemic Sound. If I go to my upload section here, you can see the audio track is called Fluorescent Cushy. So we've got our first block. Now in the second window, or on the second page, I wanted to, you can see it as I drag over there, you can see it drags over and becomes larger over there. Now in between here, in between the windows, what you've got is you've got a change transition, and that's where we use this match and move option. Now I've set all mine to 0.5 seconds and all of my pages are 1.5 seconds, apart from this option here, and I'm going to come on to that as to why that's split in a few moments. Okay, so we've got our match and move option there. We're happy with that. Now what we do is, as we've got our match and move on here, what we do is we add another block on here, and all we've done in this one is we've actually, when we duplicated the page, that's because that's what you do, is you go in and you duplicate the page. So if I do that for you now, you duplicate the page on this one, all you do is you highlight the whole block that you want to move, and then you move it to where you want, and you change the size to what you want using the corners. What I found is if you use the option up here to change the font sizes, or it becomes not a square, it can sometimes not work. The match and move option can sometimes not work. So let me play that for you so you can see that. Okay, so you can see that as I drag that over, that's creating that match and move. Now we've then got this option here where this new block comes on. Okay, so all we're doing in this one, that's where we want the transition to end over there. And all we want to do is we want to have another block. So if we go back to the first page and we copy this block and we paste it in here, okay, so it is going to know that that block is new. It knows that the other one's going to be the one that it's matching and moving, because you can see there, okay, it knows that that second block is a different block. Okay, now all we're going to do is you'll see on here I've changed the colour and I've also changed the text. So that's all you're going to do on here is you're going to come over, you're going to change the text color to the purple, and then I just typed in match. Okay, so you'll see that as I do that, it's doing that transition. That's pretty much how match and move works, is you create an element or a block or a text or anything else like that, move it around on the screen, and then it's going to kind of use match and move. It's kind of magic in the background. It's basically how you would create keyframes in a video editing software. Okay, so I'm going to delete this page because I've already got the page here. So I'm going to delete that page. I just wanted to show you how we're transitioning from that, and then all we're doing is we're coming over and doing it exactly the same, but on this one what I did is I moved that welcome box down and then moved that one across and then created a new one. So let me show you exactly what I mean. If I duplicate this page now, okay, so what I want to do is I want to move this box down, okay, and I want to move it down to this size, and I want to move this one over here, and I want to make it say this size, and I'm going in the middle. Where's the middle? There we go. Okay, we want to move it to around about that sort of size, and you can make sure that you're making your sizes correctly. And then also I've still got copy on from before, so I'm going to click paste, and that's where then I can change the color of this to the blue, and I'm going to change this to and. Okay, so you'll see what it does is it moves those two blocks down and round. It knows that it's taking computer technology, AI, whatever you want to call it, and matching those as you move them around the screen. And then this one fades in because there's a transition there. It automatically knows to fade that one in because it wasn't on the previous one. So it's matching a blank space to a now filled space. And that's how you just carry on going along. Now, I've got a couple of tips and tricks that I want to show you on how you can actually change and hide things on the page. Okay, so let me show you that. I'm going to delete that page because that's the one we already had. Okay, so if I come back to my timeline, we've got that. And then again, we've got match and move. And then I had this item come on. So this is a photo frame. What you can't do is you can't just have it on there and for it to, I want it to kind of like come on and make it bigger. You'll have seen through these first ones, what they do is they kind of like fade on. But what I wanted with this one is I wanted it to fade on, and you might have seen exactly what I've done there. What I've actually done is I've actually got this frame on the previous page. So on the previous page here, you can't see it because I've used the transparency tool, okay, but you'll see under here I've actually got the photo frame shrunk right down, and I've got a white box over it. Okay, so what you're actually seeing is on this page is that photo frame is there, but it's hidden. If you had a more complex background, you'd have to find a way of taking a bit of that background and patching it over to match it up. If that's something that you want to figure out and try, let me know. If you want me to do a future tutorial on that, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll create that tutorial for you. But that's what we're doing here, is we're actually revealing from behind that square. Okay, so you'll see there's no square on this page because what it's doing is it's transitioning to where we've created that photo frame on the next page. Hopefully you're following me along, because that's a really neat trick. By using that masking option, it helps you kind of like hide things. And then in the next frame, we kind of hide it behind this option here. So what I've done is actually shrunk down the frame, and I've moved it behind this item here. So you see it's behind there. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so let's say this is how we had it on there, okay, and it's at the front. When you drag it over, it might be that that is on top. So you'll have moved your match and move. All you need to do is shrink this down as small as you want it to be to wherever you want it to be, and then just position it. So if you go to position and then you just choose backwards, and it's hiding that then behind there. So if we go back, you'll see what it does is it actually then moves it to behind that next frame, if you like. What you'll also notice is that that frame now then changes into a different image inside the phone frame. What we need to do is we actually need to create another frame, and then you'll see if I don't have this trick that I'm going to show you next there, it just then fades on. What I want it to do is I want it to come on and stretch up, and it's very similar to what we did beforehand, but what we need to do this time is we need to make this one, if we make it 1.5 seconds, okay, and then I split this page, okay, and I want to make this now 0.5 second that side and 1 second that side. Okay, so what we've got is we've got this that hides behind there. Now, what we then need to do, you'll see between there's no transition. Okay, what we need to do on this page is we actually need to find where we've put that item. It's under here. And then what we need to do is we need to find it, make it bigger, change it for our new image. Okay, so I'm just going to click copy on this one. Okay, so we can change it to our new image. Okay, so we can delete this one. Okay, and we can put this one now down and behind here. Okay, make it as small as you want, and then move that one again then to the back. So if we move that backwards, it's then hiding it. So what you've got is in between, I'm going to explain this. What you've got is in between here, you've got this one that goes down behind it, and then between this split where there's no transition, you won't be able to see it because there's no transition. It just kind of like plays as if it's the same video because these items are all in the same place. But this is now, you can just change that down to 0.5 second. So your split transition is still 1.5 seconds. These two frames, if you like, need to add up to the amount of time that you want the full frame to be. Okay, so what happens now behind there is it changes. Okay, so I've now changed that onto this one, and now on this one there's the new frame, and it then matches to that one, and that's exactly all we've done in there. Okay, then all I want to do is then on the next frame I would then move my blocks up and add some text, and then this is just a text animation. So this is just a normal typewriter text animation, and then after that we've then got the transition where I created another frame where I then enlarged the text to make it bigger, so that when it hits that beat, it makes the text bigger. Hopefully that's useful, and you're going to go away and have some fun playing and experimenting with this new match and move option in Canva. And until next time, thank you very much, and bye for now.